Yo, 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 welcome. This is AB. Podcast AB Talk to the Universe can be found on anchor.fm and other major podcast communities. And I'm here today on AB Casting Live, my YouTube channel. First, I want to give a shout out and thanks to those, my family and friends who have shown support through my changes in life and those who have encouraged me to continue changing. I was blessed to see two of my old friends that have known me for a very long time and, pulled me off to the side and told me that they were proud of what I was doing and whatever the hell I was doing to keep doing it because it's working and they can see it in me and I guess you can feel the energy and you can feel what I'm about. And so apparently it's noteworthy. And that's, we shouldn't do anything for others. We should do all things for ourselves. But when we do things for ourselves and others notice, it has a lot of inspiration behind it and further, motivates me to keep going. I just realized how interesting my backdrop was. The rug from the living room's in the corner. We're gonna shift this a little bit, and we'll see some other interesting stuff. So, I was watching another vlogger. Aaron's his name, and forgive me, I forget his last name, but he talks about dimensions, densities, basically the concept of one, how we're all connected and how it all works and how it all was created and the different layers of densities and where other living items or living things are. And at lower densities, you have basic stuff. I won't explain it correctly, so I just want to encourage people to look into that. For me, it's taken meaning. It's something I'm going to begin to study. Another thing that I've studied recently, which was a part of this information that I received and I was inspired to grab off the YouTube and watch, was the concept that Jesus Christ was a yogi, and what he was practicing was the three stables of meditation. I mean, of yoga, meditation being one. So I want to note these things. I don't want to dive into them because I'm not prepared or really a noteworthy someone that knows about them well. And one thing I've learned is you may know, but you really know nothing. So all I'm here is to share these experiences and talk about them and get people's interest, which is what sparked my evolution, my transformation, and my basically ascension to being a higher frequency or a higher level, operating on a higher level. So for me, I've watched it come and go. I've seen the magic. I've let go of the magic. So this is what I'm experiencing myself now, is diving back in another angle from some different perspectives with some new practices. And this is going to be, the past year, 2 years ago, I started following Buddha's teachings and dove into that of being peace. The last, I'd say, year, I've been going over different experiences and different exercises. The last 6 months, I've really focused on Qigong, which through Troy Casey at Certified Health Nut, someone I look up to for information and to learn this stuff. So he's taught me an astronomical amount of stuff. So now I'm going to move into the slower yoga, and I say slower, but I'm going to move into a yoga practice and start to follow this method. And basically, when you go through the Bible, you can go through the Bible with this yoga perspective, and you can there's a documentary. It's an hour and a half long. I'll try to get it in the comments or in the notes, but it's in my history and of watched videos. It's amazing. It clearly, it's well known, not denounced in the religion of Christianity, but well known that Jesus was gone as a child, and what he practiced and what he came back. And if you start to see the imagery and see pictures drawn and depictions, and then start to correlate it to the books, and then take the books that were removed and then start to get into it and correlate it, it'll make a lot of sense. And any religious person, be cautious because you're being religious. It has nothing to do with your relationship with God. I'm not saying that religion doesn't bring people to God. It's neither good nor bad. For me, God is good. So if someone's coming to God in the form of Christian, any practice or any preaching, go there, because when you find God for yourself, it'll be meaningful. and it will mean something to you. And when you find God for yourself and you understand what this means and how it's all connected, and we have all this God consciousness within us, or the Christ consciousness, or the Christ capability within ourselves, it's magical. And you can start to transform your life. You can transform your thoughts, your actions, and your and who you are. Basically, raise up. That's what I call it. I want to go higher, and it's not a getting on a drug. It's not like Troy Casey said, get high on your own supply, man. There's breath techniques that bring dopamine levels up, that bring natural drugs into your body that get you high, if you want to call it that. So in this talk, I titled this Dimensions. So I always looked at everything from a dimensional perspective. Aaron, I think it's Burke. I can't. No. Anyways, I'm gonna mess up his name, but Aaron is talking about it from a density level, and apparently there's a difference between the two. I'm going to research a little more, but if you have questions on dimensions and densities, you heard of 3D, 4D, 5D, 7D. So basically, there's 7 dimensions, which also correlates to your 7 chakras, which is inside of you. And that's why the universe is outside, but also within, if you start to understand. The galaxies and everything and beyond just this earthly matter is constructed in the same manner with the same creation. And that's why for me and for my research, it's harder to be an atheist than it is to be a believer. It's very easy to see in the world and everywhere that is constructed based upon some geometrical patterns, some creation. There's just way too much to exclude that something higher created all this. Now, is that higher Christ? Well, Christ was a human who came from God, maybe from a higher density or dimension, depending on how you want to define it, or if you understand the differences, but came from a higher dimension and inhabited a 3rd dimension body or a 3rd density body, so he could teach us. And in some of his teachings, he even said, they said, "Will you come to us again?" He said, "Well, I've already come to you before." He had already been to earth. God had already shown himself more than once before Christ. And this isn't to get into historical arguments. This is to understand that we have, right now, we have 4D beings and 5-dimensional beings that have inhabited human bodies to help usher in this new era of love and light. It's not just by default or by it's not, for me, it's all connected. And that's why I'm here in this place right now, to share this, to encourage people to look beyond, to research about Christ and his practices. Because when he said to follow me or believe in me, it wasn't about him. Well, for me, it wasn't about him dying on the cross. He was saying, follow me. Look at my practices. What am I doing? I'm loving others. I'm caring for those who can't care for themselves. I have ultimate compassion and empathy and love for those struggling or for those who are angry or mad. And I'm able to understand that anger and have compassion and let go of the anger, so we don't have to be in a place of negativity. So it's not by chance that we're all falling into this place, or that our thoughts are changing, or that someone comes up to me who you would think, come up to me and say, yeah, man, I really want to start yoga. And mind blowing. And this is before I watched the documentary of Christ being a yogi. So go figure that. And this is a friend of mine who invited me to church as well that day, and yet said, I want to do yoga. So it's not, God's working in all of our lives in different angles, and he's trying to show us. And some of us are finding it in different places. And I believe that there is some ultimate information, but there's, like my boy said in my previous podcast, Greg Mayer, who I met and had a long conversation with, if you're an 8 out of 10, say Christianity gets you 80% of the way to understanding, well, that's beautiful. It's better than 0. If you never went to church, you would have 0 understanding. So our religions and our places of practice are good. And what's good is that we go beyond that and we start to have that personal relationship. And I have a personal relationship with God, and it's not personal because he's inside of me, but we have there's an exchanging energy and understanding between myself and the higher consciousness. And that's the kind of power that I'm trying to play with. And it's not magic or witchcraft. And if it is, that's what Christ was a magician or a witch. Because what I'm trying to understand is how everything works on this earth and in this universe and in these multiverses and in the different dimensions and densities and correlate that to living my life now. And the biggest freeing thing is this is just one little life in billions of years of life. And we inhabited this body. And as I explained to my kids, it's like you see me behind the wheel driving the car. Well, that's where my consciousness is in my body. And I want to let them know to live free and let go of the fear and let go of anger and live. And so hope this is informative and fun for those who pick up and take a look at it. My first live stream on YouTube. I guess my channel is approved for that now. I don't know what requirements that it takes, but grateful for this. And I got to get back to some things that pay my bills. But I want to mention a couple of people and things first. First off today, are my boy Slick Shit Clothing Company. Excuse the French, but hey, again, free to curse if I want to. Has an impact to me however I want it to be. And it's just slick shit, man. It's dope ass clothing. I have my own gear, an art line collection by Mark Burdett Fine Art and me. Collaborated. I made digital prints, or took his artwork digital and put it onto clothing. You can find all of that at www.abundanceloveandlight.com. You can also catch me on Instagram at AaronB_TheAB. You can catch up with some of my arts at AB Crafts and Creations. And my healing holistic page is at Holistic Healing Love. And if you're into handyman construction stuff here I'm local in Central Broward. Also work up in North Florida when I'm visiting family in Gainesville. And that is AB_home_services. Catch up with all of my wonderful work and works. I'm a artist, wearing none of my jewelry today, but we are creators of resin art. I also create signboards for businesses and for people. I can do a lot of different things. I created the table I'm working on right now. I stained it. I work with paints, all kinds of mediums. And I'll tell you, the reason that I'm doing so much is because I didn't do things so much in my life. And so when I broke free, I kind of broke wildly free and went wild. So those of you that know me or knew of me, I had a podcast, the A&B show. It was phenomenal. We talked about emotional health and mental health, emotional intelligence, the spiritual awakening, affirmations, energy, all these topics that I'm further developing and talking on now and that I'm studying up more to understand myself. I had a wonderful partner, Brian Amador. Find him online. He's an NLP therapist. He's wonderful. We don't speak anymore. However, that's my brother. I got nothing but love. And I want to... and like I told him the other day in a message that I didn't get a response to is, I want the best for you. I love you, man. And sometimes that's all you can do is just hang that up and you can put it out there and just say, I'm here for you whenever, however, and that's it. And so I did that. But if you have an opportunity, you can find that on one podcast site and you'd have to go look. It's an old one. Anyways, so those are some beautiful things, but that's what got me started in this podcasting. A friend of mine, the Pepe and Ava, but Pepe from at Dutch Hippies, check out their music, their arts, they're street artists. They've encouraged me. This was my gift from them. And I've never said this out loud, but this is Mr. Lion Happy Heart, because in this world, you need to have a heart of a lion. You need to be a leader. But you also got to be happy and have your heart first. You got to love others. And so I named this as part of my gift was to name my robot. And there's a whole story. These come from a dimension of love, and it's very symbolic, and it's giving me the heart of a lion. It's a reminder me to love and not to forget that, and to basically to be strong, but have compassion and love. And that's what I thought at the time, and I think still to this day it represents me very well. So I have a lot of compassion. I have a lot of love. I want to share with others. I want to connect with others, but don't get it twisted. I am a lion. I'm a leader. I stand tall. I'm proud. And this is how that means for me as I transform and let go of my ego. I want to be proud of the whole and the collection, and proud of where I'm living and how I'm living and what I'm living and how that correlates to God and connects with God and other things. So anyways, like I said a few minutes ago, I'm going to get back to work. But check out on the title, I mentioned Bashar. I mentioned Ra, um, one, the theory of one, or Ra, excuse me. My brain's not in the right place, but I wanted to get some information out. Check these things out, man. Look up this guy, Aaron, online. He is dropping knowledge and connecting with others. He's got a podcast. And I believe it's something about magic, your daily magic or something. Anyways, I'll try to get it on there. If not, stay tuned because I'm going to be following and watching his videos. I got one on in the background. Well, heck, let's pause it. And it's the Law of One we're talking about. It's Aaron Abke, Abke. This guy's got 10,000 views on this video, and it's the difference between densities and dimensions. But he also breaks into a series on the Law of One. So check him out. That's who I've been mentioning. Check out Troy Casey at Certified Health Nut. He's got a wealth of information. He's healing. He's teaching others to heal. He's got healthy living practices, and yeah. And he's practicing all kinds of practices. That's what's cool about him is he's enveloped qigong, yoga, all kinds of. He does cold baths, butthole sunning, which is something. Apparently, it's something good. Apparently, it's becoming a new phenomenon with his spreading and his crew. So, anyways, check out. Who else do we want to check out? I mentioned the hippies. I mentioned my artist, Mark Burdett Fine Art, at Mark Burdett Fine Art. He's on Facebook and on Instagram. The guy does phenomenal paintings and artists. He's also musically inclined. I haven't seen him do music in a while. He did used to make tables. So anyways, check him out, hit him up, get something personal from him. Employ these people who are out there sharing love. Spend some money with them. Stop spending your money at Walmart and Publix and buying junk at the toy stores or the $5 store. Buy something real, buy something motivational. Check out our resin art, check out the clothing. If we really want change, we have to change. And that means that changing our daily routine. I want to give a shout out to my boy T-Lo. He ain't on any social media. But when I personally connected with him, he went online and he supported my business. And our business, he supported me and Mark because he bought 3 of our items. And so that's the love, that's the reciprocation, that's the support that a motivated, inspired person like myself needs. You can support me on anchor.fm as well with a small donation, $1 a month, $5 a month, because when 100 of you guys do that, that's $100 a month. That means I can sit my butt down here for 2 hours during the week, paid to record some information, or I can research when I have free time or when I'm working, and then get paid to make some shows or some episodes. And I don't like to hinge on payment on money, but we do need support. I can't carry on this way and have the freedom and flexibility without support. And so those of you who have already, the ABs, my big bro, Poe, my mother, my girl, my partner for life, Daniele, I appreciate it all. And that's one thing. This experience has been beautiful. I've reconnected in different ways with all of my family. My father, Wesley, helped me build out some stuff and do work. And it was amazing, an amazing time. And it's crazy because at your worst, you also have your best. So excuse me, but I'm emotional sometimes. But that's the love. And that's also like a sign of, I had so much pain, so much suffering and anger that I held in. And I'm able to let it go now. And I'm able to feel this good feeling about these people and about this life that I'm living here and how I'm going to touch you guys and touch other people's lives. Whew. Thank you guys. Thank you, God. Thank you, Christ, Ra, all those that come before and after. Thank you for those seeking the truth, sharing the truth. Thank you for those that share your beautiful energy, that motivate me, that inspire me. There's a person online at Budor 22. You can find it on my Instagram. I feel like every day this person's here for me to share something to inspire me. And I want to thank those people and thank God. And this is the connection. And this is the fellowship that we have and the opportunity we have to elevate our lives, elevate our minds, and the body that we're inhabiting, and learn more about what goes on. So a lot of us have lived the life before. We were reincarnated without our memories so that we could learn again, but we're here to help. And like I was telling Pepe, I realized I know I had a higher purpose, and now I'm starting to understand what it means. So peace, love, light. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for sharing, and please share and spread. Subscribe. I'm trying to put together something here that that I can live on and sustain on, so I can keep sharing and doing all this. And don't worry, whether you share or support, I will find a way. But your support and sharing is loved and appreciated, and will make it so much smoother and more possible. So thank you all. Check out Ra, check out Bashar, check out Dimensions, Densities, Aaron, Abke, ABKE, Alan Watt is on YouTube. There's plenty of that. I also will mention Napoleon Hill because he gets into it in a very basic level, a very human level, but he starts to touch the bases of all this stuff in his books and his writings. And there's plenty more. Thomas Campbell, if you want to jump into metaphysics, basically time travel and different dimensional travels, he has wonderful information. It goes on and on and on. I want to reference this book that's right out here in front of me, The Go-Giver. That was the beginning of the change 7 or 8 years ago. Someone gave me that book, and I was struggling. I didn't know where I was at in life and only fixated on money. And finally, that book helped me transition, and was I say the beginning, but there was many beginnings, but that was an important pack. And I saw that book out today, and I wanted to bring that to people's light, because it's another good piece of information. It's really easy to read. So if you're really stuck in your physical human mind body and you want to begin to open your mind, it's a great book. So is the Bible. So is the Dhammapada. And other religious texts are really good for opening your mind and connecting. And often you'll find an interpretation or meaning within something that works for you. And if you're able to decipher it appropriately, it may actually be meaningful to the greater. So that's where our communal aspect comes in. If we see something we read or it means something, we share it, we talk about it. Oftentimes you get not put down, but your information's not as credible or not from the right context, and you'll get that answer. And that's beautiful. I had a friend post something the other day about worldly events, and it's changing, and the date was from 6 years ago, 5 years ago. It made the information no more or less credible. It just made his statement a little less, because he was like, it's happening now. It's been going on for years. The topic he was talking about, what was honest about it is that he just said, yep, I'm usually pretty good at this. I made a quick post, and that happens when we're sharing so much information this day. That's why we have to decipher what's real and what's not. We have to, before we speak or before we form our thoughts on it, we must dive in a little bit more. And the other part of that is, for me, is just not connecting to it so much. And if it angers me, just letting go of it, because I very often have little control. And if it's something that really really gets into my heart, I don't have to be angry. I just make a change and inspire and make a point and a goal to make a change in the world, or to start inspiring others to make a change in that topic. So anyways, again, peace, love, and light. I'm wrapping this up. My first live stream, AB Casting Live. Catch me on my podcast, AB Talk to the Universe. My website, www.abundanceloveandlight.com, is the shop. We also have www.loveandlightservices.net. And that is my overall page, where you can just catch up with whatever the heck I'm working on. I just transitioning back to that page, so give me some time. There's some videos and some things that are being updated. But as you know, I'm a man of many things, so I'll be getting to that when I get to that. If you have anything you see and would like to share with me, I'm always open to information, constructive criticism, or hey, straight up, hey, your page ain't working, dude, or hey, that video is not loading, or whatever it is. I can take it, man. I'm a man. I might respond and say, hey, I'm working on this, and then realize, you know what, dude, the person's helping. Just take it, do it, get it done. And that's another thing. Do it now, man. There's no tomorrow. We live right now. So right now, I'm gonna get off this. I'm gonna go order some stuff for something I need to install for a family member that's gonna pay me well, and then I got to get to another job so I can earn a little bit of income, put gas and food on the table, and then I'm gonna go to another job that punches out at a whopping little wage, but at the end of the day, I have a lot of gratitude because I meet people, I connect with people, and it does at the end of the month put some money in the bank. And that's what we got to be willing to do, whatever it takes. So you can support me on anchor.fm. You can support me financially through buying clothing. I'm not asking for a handout because I made some cool shit for you. Um, you can support me through buying my resin art, ordering a painting, having a signboard done. I'm not asking for handouts. I'm a hard freaking working man, but sometimes when you develop a plan, you got to put in a lot of work, and sometimes you suffer financially, but finances ain't everything. And if I die broke, I'm coming back broke. So don't worry about it. Heck yeah, I want to end it.